Alright, so recently I got into this really selective school from age 15 to 18. It's really accelerated in terms of schoolwork and education, and I wanted to get in for a long time, and it's a dream of mine. Well, firstly, well done, congratulations. It's important as a footballer and as a person in general to celebrate those small wins, because a lot of people in today's world, they don't celebrate those small wins. They're always focusing on the future and what's tomorrow, what's the next week, what's next month. But it's important to celebrate those small wins, or just wins in general. This is not small. This is a big win. So celebrate and just be proud of yourself. Firstly, I know as footballers, as young people, we always want more and more and more, and that's brilliant. And I want that too for natural footballers, for life in general. But it's important that we celebrate these wins and be proud of ourselves. But apparently it has a good football program with solid games and training. But I've heard that if I want to go professional, it is better to play in the MPL, the high level of football in Australia. So MPL, if you're not from Australia or not around that area, there's the MPL and then there's the A-League. The A-League is the professional league, and then the MPL is semi-professional, pretty close to professional as well. So the A-League is there's no promotion or relegation in the A-League, similar to the MLS, for example. And my dad says that if I'm going to be playing for the school team, that I'm not going to be playing for any other team since it's too much work. That's fair enough. He says that I have to try the school football program, and if it's not good, then the year after that I can play for another team. I don't know what to do, and all of this is making me lose hope in my dream of going pro. Well, firstly, you're super young, 15, 16 years old, super young. Just because you're going to be playing in a different football program or something that not as what you had planned, doesn't mean that it's over, all right? Because end of the day, talent always rises to the top. Standout players always rise to the top. Yeah, there's some exception for a few players here and there, but majority of the time, talent and the standout players always rise to the top. So what I can say for you, Gabrielle, is focus on just being the best player in the school football program. At least there is a football program. It's not like you're going to a school in the middle of nowhere or away from your family or whatever, and there's just nothing. There's no football program, there's no trainers, there's no games. It's just all education and all that kind of stuff. It's not like that's happened. You've still got football. You're still going to be playing, weekly, training weekly, playing games weekly. That's the most important thing. What's up to you is how you deal with it and how you have your mindset. Your mindset should be, I'm going into every single training, every single day, and every single game, 100%, playing 100%, working 100% for the team. And this is how you're going to make the most out of it. Because sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side, and a lot of footballers and a lot of people don't understand this, and I had to experience this myself. I thought going overseas and playing in England was going to be the make or break, but I didn't really like the environment in England anyway. I didn't really like how life was over there, so I came back here. So the grass isn't always greener on the other side, and you just got to make the most out of your environment. It's super important, and more people need to know this, that your environment right now is actually better than you think. A lot of people in countries, I get loads of messages from people from countries saying, oh, I live in Honduras, or I live in South Africa, or I live in India or Pakistan or Nepal or something like that. And they say the football here is really bad. It's not bad. It's not as bad as you think it is. Yeah, it's not Europe, and everyone wants to go to Europe because that's the dream. But India still has a national team. Honduras still has a national team. They played in the World Cup before. There is a still good level of football there. You just need to get to that top. By you saying I want to go to Europe, or I know that's not what you're saying here, but this is an example for everyone else. Everyone say they want to go to Europe, but if you're not even at the highest level in your own country, then it's going to be very hard for you to play in Europe, because the level there is super, super high. And if you're not at that level, the top level in your current country, then it's going to be super hard for you to break it into Europe. But back to kind of Gabrielle's kind of situation here, should he focus, do the school football program, or should he go to the MPL league? I would say stick with the school football program. Your dad, he's had more experience in life. He's more experienced probably in the game of football. He knows the best for you. Even though you think the NPL is probably a better decision, it may be, but it doesn't mean that you can't go pro from the school football, for example. Every single professional footballer went to school. It's compulsory pretty much everywhere around the world. This is a lot of a big excuse that a lot of people tell me, oh, I've got school, I can't go focus on my dream of, becoming a professional footballer because I got school. I think that's a really silly excuse because, we all have to go to school, 6-8 hours a day, and it's a lot of hours. I know it takes out a lot of energy and time, but you can still work around it. You can still do your training. You can still do your fascia training. You can still do what's required to, become better, because all professional footballers had to go to school. I mean, look at Lamine Yamal. When he was at the Euros, when he was 16, he was still doing schoolwork in the hotel room. So there's no excuses at all. And at the end of the day, training and the stuff that we do only takes 1 to 2 hours a day. And then what else are you going to do for the rest of your day? And that's why school is good, because, it takes up, most of the day. So all in all, I know it's a bit of a dilemma and you don't know what to do, but stick with the school football program. And if you're watching this, if anyone's watching this, obviously on YouTube and stuff like that, then, don't make school as an excuse not to make it, or make it here or there. And not to mention, most of you guys are super young, like under 17. You've got loads of time. And this is the time to actually experiment and trial with different things and meet new people, play with different players. It's not just like 16 straight to the top, straight to the, top of the, top of the level. 16 is where you're developing, playing with new players, testing out like almost new coaches, new teammates, figuring out your kind of style. And then when you get to, you mature a bit, 18, 19, 20, 21, that's when you focus on one path and you go down that path. So you're super young, wouldn't worry about it. Stick with the school football program. You're at least playing football pretty much every day, I presume, or training every week and playing games, which is brilliant anyway. And then, this NPL league, which is a good level of football in Australia, I know it is. You can build up to that, and maybe when you're 18, when you leave the school, you're going to be fully prepared. You had a lot of good training under you, and it's going to be brilliant. So don't stress. You got into this school, which was a dream of yours anyway, and you're going to be well educated as well, which is important. Don't neglect school. Don't neglect schoolwork. I know there's mixed opinions about it. I have my opinions about school, but it is important for education and just social skills as well. And yeah, but hope that helped Gabrielle kind of figure it out, kind of give you a bit more of a clearer head. But yeah, if you are watching this on YouTube, then I highly recommend you join the Natural Football Mastery Program. Look at all the questions in here. They get answered every single day. Community full of like-minded footballers. So make sure you get inside, and then you obviously have the classroom section where there's hours of content in here. So make sure you get in as soon as possible. You can just find it through the link in the description. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video. I'll catch you in the next one.